two ways you can support my independent production is by checking out the merch and weekly newsletter on the Earth Story website. We had finally arrived in Istanbul, the city of 100 names. For millennia, it's been pinned between Eastern and Western identities. Even today, its widely varied people struggle to assert their unique place in the world, let alone their own city, with the last 10 years seeing a rise in Ottoman populism.
We have made it here into Istanbul, first night at the hostel. Dylan's already getting down on a game of chess. We're gonna explore the city in a little bit, but first, some beers, some cigarettes, and get down.
This place has seen threads from every culture on Earth weaved into its colorful history. First named Lagos by the Thracians, Byzantium by the Greeks, Constantinople by the Romans, and finally Istanbul by the Republic of Turkey, which approaches its centennial anniversary. Armenians, Kurds, exiled Arabs, even Black American jazz musicians all sought refuge in the streets of Seven Hills. We even met one of the many Filipina overseas workers who helped us find our way back home in this gargantuan metropolis of 15 million people. Facing each other in stark contrast are two of Istanbul's most grand buildings, the Hagia Sophia and the Sultanahmet Mosque. One of them originally built as a cathedral for the Roman Christian god, and the other 1,000 years later to overshadow its magnificence through Almighty Allah. It's a story of the two most powerful ideologies in the world. Last year, in a show of political force, the cathedral-turned-secular museum was once again converted into a mosque. But on the streets, God only spoke through my own senses, for only they observed the hundreds of tiny, holy little acts that most pass off as the mundane. Boasting over 3,000 mosques, the city has been almost entirely Muslim since the Ottoman Empire in the 15th century. Perfectly situated on both sides of a strategic waterway that connects Europe and Asia, the Golden Horn of Istanbul has seen the passage of every nationality since antiquity. There are centuries of history and tradition here, but I imagine the oldest of them all is the language of feeding those who come from elsewhere. You arrive a foreigner. You see, you smell, you eat, and slowly begin to understand this new home that wandering roads brought you to. The center of the world.
Good morning, Earthlings. It is day 2 in Istanbul. Had a pretty wild night at the hostel last night. Today on the schedule, I have to go find a chess set for Dylan because it was his birthday about a week ago. As you saw, our chess set is pretty rough. I'm on a mission. I'm gonna hit the Grand Bazaar. I think it'll be a pretty good spot to find something like that. But before all that, I have to go get breakfast, so let's go.
Spicy, salty, savory. As usual, I had to taste it all. There is no greater joy than eating your way through an entire country, and Turkey was a whirlwind of flavor. The journey of Turkish food has evolved continuously from Central Asia to where it is today. It brings me just as much happiness as it does pain, knowing it will take years to even scratch the culinary surface of a place.
I've been dreaming about Turkish delight since I was a kid, ever since watching Chronicles of Narnia. So I think I will try it here.
hazelnut, lemon, mango, pomegranate, Oreo, Nutella, Samsami. This is for honey, no sugar.
No sugar.
This is pomegranate inside caramel.
Wow,
That's
that's amazing.
This is spices Turkish. Summa, kurkuma for salad, for chicken, for meat, for rice. This is tea Turkish. Turkish tea. Blueberry, double tea, mango.
Oh my God, you guys. I swear I get treated so well here in Turkey. It's amazing.
What's your name?
Troy, I'm Troy. What's your name?
Mohammed.
Mohammed. Good to meet you, Mohammed. Yeah. Okay, have a good one. I'm here in the Grand Bazaar with my friend here.
Hi,
What's your name?
my name is Kuzu.
Kusu.
Yes,
Cool.
nice to meet you.
So I wasn't looking for lamps, but I mean it's a beautiful, beautiful shop. I'm gonna show you around a little bit. But Kusu, do you know where I can find a chess set?
Chess?
the game.
The game, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Here?
Yes, in Bazaar, I can show you.
Beautiful, yes.
Şey tavla istiyor.
Okay.
Tamam, lambacı burada.
Thank you, my friend. I
Have
appreciate
tea,
you. Thank
okay?
you. Thank you very much.
If you have
Appreciate
a
it.
time, come have a tea.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, will do.
Okay,
Thank
enjoy
you.
your
Bye
time.
bye. Beautiful.
I give you hospitality for you, Turkish apple tea.
This rug culture came with the Turks when they first came to Anatolia. Turks have been making rugs for like over 1500 years.
So I found the exit. I've been walking for like 15 minutes trying to find the exit of this place. Keep getting distracted by all the amazing shops and ceramics and rugs and everything. So much Turkish delight and things to taste, things to look at. I'm going to go meet my friend Quiva, who I met in Lesbos. She works with quite a bit of refugees, and yeah, so we became friends when I was shooting with Better Days, and she introduced me to some families in Moria. Yeah, it's absolute madness in there, but that was amazing. First time trying Turkish delight. Woo, that blew my socks off. Yeah, so meeting up with Quiva, and she is currently with her friend who is an Afghani journalist from America, but is working in Turkey. So I'm pretty excited to see what they're all about and make her acquaintance. Alright, I have made it, and it is a beautiful park. This is amazing. Oh my god.
I've destroyed my teeth because of this. But now my teeth is gone and it's overnight. I have to
It has been an absolute honor to be to have met Quiva, and she's and she's introduced me to a lot of very, very important people and bringing people together, connecting people.
And you're a beautiful spirit.
Thank
and
you.
It's what a pleasure.
Thank
No,
you.
seriously, I'm saying that
Oh,
like
wow.
no,
Yeah.
no. In Arabic they say mujamale. You know, like no.
Mujamale.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Huh.
I'm saying that honestly because I think people just get a sense of the clarity of your intent in
Yeah.
terms of your documentation, but also just how you move and operate in the world. And
Good.
you move with a lot of sensitivity and empathy and respect. And it was a
Okay.
pleasure, particularly with the Syrian families,
Yeah.
because I felt they felt your warmth and that
Good,
was communicated
good.
across
Yeah.
borders, across language. So
It's-
thank you too.
Yeah, so Quiva has been connecting me with a lot of people that are doing a lot of amazing things in the world,
Yeah.
and really feel like it's changing it for the better. Because there are a lot of issues that you guys are all obviously going to be seeing and witnessing, and I don't know, hopefully taking part in, some of you. So it's cool to see the network building, the network of people building, coming up with solutions and
having children and
Yeah.
producing the next generation.
Yeah.
too.
beautiful. It's a beautiful world we live in. Complex but beautiful.
1923 marked the birth of the Turkish Republic. This new nation was founded on secular separation of church and state and brought an age of industry to the land. Science, democracy, and a budding relationship with the Western capitalists were the priorities of this new system, building what is now known as modern Turkey.
So my name is Guida. I'm Irish, but I grew up in Canada and Zimbabwe and Mauritius, and then lived for many years in Mexico, Guatemala, Haiti, Palestine, Iraq, and Lebanon. And I work primarily with refugee communities at the moment and have done for the past years. But prior to that, I worked with indigenous communities in Latin and South America. And the common sort of vein of a lot of that work has been human rights and social justice, and I think an inherent belief in human dignity and equality, and the necessity of us collectively supporting each other and showing solidarity with each other in movements for freedom. Because I mean, even in the most privileged, comfortable places in the world, there's always huge economic disparity and inequality. And I think if we look at the overarching frame of capitalism and it's the devastating violence of it, it's everywhere. So the response in the absence of our states, in the absence of governmental action, has been really down and carried on the backs of solidarity movements, trying to embody and manifest an alternative to a politic of othering and racism and fear. And I think that anti-racism struggles really have to be at the center of our organizing in terms of understanding, that borders in the way that they are manifested in the earth at the moment represent racism, they represent othering.
The leader who founded this republic was Mustafa Ataturk, essentially a military dictator that demanded women's equality and granted them the right to vote. He built thousands of schools and made education compulsory. He also banned the wearing of headscarves in public places and forced all mosques to be state-controlled. A century later would see the rise to power of a new dictator, Tayyip Erdogan, who intentionally began to reverse all of this. I wonder often if the pendulum can ever be perfectly swung to a harmonious center.
I have a birthday present for you. It's finally here. I wrapped it myself. Thank you. Yeah.
What could it possibly be? You did a fantastic job wrapping this, Troy.
Yeah.
I would hire you to wrap packages.
It's a decorative gray.
Look at that. Epic. So you got two different sets here.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Thank you.
You're all.
This is dope. Whoever runs out of time first loses, and I had 48 seconds left and Troy ran out. So he had +1 pawn on me, I had plus 48 seconds, so. Birthday boy wins. All right, your birthday's officially over.
Since the founding of Turkey, the people here have struggled to find a concrete cultural identity, forever caught between the gravitational forces of East and West. German supermodels and Hollywood directors somehow find a way to coexist with Islamic conservatives. Here, you can go clubbing and drink alcohol, but still honor the traditions of Ramadan. These are completely conflicting ways of life, and yet they exist together. Muslim mothers wear burqas at the beach while their daughters clad bikinis. Turkish women claim to have free sexuality that rivals Europe, yet the idea of a pure virgin is still a culture-wide expectation. While the sun shines in Istanbul, the Turks are bright and hospitable. But as night falls, a familiar melancholy settles down to their bones. This is a deeply conflicted place where the young wish to love freely, and a tradition 1,000 years old refuses to be shattered.
It is to the credit of Ataturk and the Turkish people that a free Turkey grew out of a collapsing empire, and that the new Turkey has proudly proclaimed and maintained its independence ever since. Certainly there is no more successful example of national self-reliance than the birth of the Turkish Republic and the profound changes initiated since then by Turkey and Ataturk.
The park is an iconic place for modern Istanbul. Here, people gather and organize to discuss their many struggles, and is one of the only places the many diverse groups in the city can actually be heard. In 2013, the name of one in particular would be known around the world: Gezi Park. What began as a gathering of environmentalists to protest the destruction of this haven turned into a full-blown demonstration against an increasingly power-hungry regime. Erdogan, threatened by these protests, launched an assault on his citizens with a domestic riot army and chemical weapons over the course of weeks. Since Gezi, the now dictator has legislated himself unchecked authoritarian power to use against any who disagree with his politicized Islam and rampant intolerance. He has now fired or arrested over 20,000 teachers and 3,000 judges across Turkey. What is known as the Turkish Purge has resulted in thousands of schools and hundreds of media outlets closed. This is a story that is happening all across the world. In every country, there are protesters fighting for the planet and all the groups who share it, and regimes cracking down with their full power. Yet history continues to be written in this great city. It has always been the common will of the people that decide which direction progress eventually goes. In our current day, that will is growing and is being expressed on the streets right outside your window. In Istanbul, the streets sing and its people are strong. I take great comfort in knowing that someday in the future I may return and share a meal with those who change it brick by brick to build a home for all. After thousands of years, the story of this legendary place in the center of the world has only just begun.